We have people in the chat already.
And that was popping. And word is live. We're here. Welcome to the people that created the absolute fustercluck that was just U.S. soccer Twitter today. The USL world was on it. The MLS world was on it. Some people were annoyed. My phone died 3 times because of your Twitter notifications. Thank you. This is the official tier list episode for Crest. We're not judging teams. We're not judging on the field. We may throw in some backhanded compliments because that's what we do. But this is mostly about the Crest itself. And before you guys even know, we've already been arguing in the back room about different stuff. So this should be very, very fun. If you guys do not know what the tier list is, go on Twitter and just look at the whole, kerfuffle that happened. And we'll go from there. We're going to release your community picks. After all the people have made them, we have community picks that was taken from multiple sources that you can see here on the screen, which is really interesting. So the Legion and Memphis 901 are at the top. Question mark. I mean, I'm okay with it. It's very interesting considering the fact that they're two teams that really dislike each other and they're right there S tier, but that is your decision. After that, the Roots and Charleston are an A, and B you have Louisville City and Ford, Madison, and Union, Omaha, Sacramento, da-da-da-da-da. You can see it. It's on the screen. And if you're listening to this in podcast form, watch the live stream. But that's not what's important right now of the community picks. What's important is what we're going to say, which is why we run the podcast, right? But first off, Ryan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. And you had mentioned earlier today that we had gotten over 25,000 Twitter impressions on just the tweet for the publishing the rankings. So well done, Kaylor, in running the Twitter account. And thank you for the sacrifice of your phone's battery throughout the day.
It's ridiculous. Alan, the man with 2 computer monitors, not 1, but 2. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Apparently, people are really liking circle logos. That seem to be pretty high. I'm always excited to debate things that aren't on the field because they're even more nebulous than who's a better team in Eastern Western Conference. So I am here for all of the love and or hate fest of. I already got some crap from the OC guys for rating Orange County D. They're like, what? I was like, no, not on the field. It's just a boring logo. And they're like explaining why it wasn't a boring logo. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll change it tonight. We'll see. So the poo flinging has already started. So,
all right, Phil, you had a little bit of a hot take in yours as well. We'll get to that. But how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I mean, there is nothing in U.S. soccer. Like there are many things that change, but the one constant is that people get extremely worked up about design before all else. Like whatever happens on the field, be damned. Like I gotta have the good look, and logos, kits, all that stuff gets debated ad nauseum. And I'm excited to bring the heat tonight. And for anyone who, I'm just gonna put this disclaimer on the way that I do things. Long time spent in private schools and then the Army brought me up in a wonderful tradition of force distribution, which is a bell curve. B's and C's are the highest, and there's only going to be a few that get those D's, F's, and then there's only going to be a few in those A's and S's. So that's how I do business, and I'm just putting that disclaimer out there right now.
All right, Gio, you are back. You are alive. How are you doing, my man?
I am good. I'm good. I'm happy to be back. I survived a week of having COVID, so I went back to work this week, and I'm excited to be back here with you guys and talk about why Omaha is just a cheap Spurs logo, trying to be cool, and and why
Here we go.
And so I hope all the Omaha fans are here to watch and talk about it. I'd love to. I already had a Louisville fan say some choice words to me on Twitter, and a Tampa Bay Rowdies fan. So I'm ready to talk about all these nice clip art logos that we have.
Wow. Gio, you did not warn me to have my rap air horn ready for that. I could just drop that in there. It would have been sweet. I was not warned that we were going to start that early.
It's just a sneak preview.
Speaking of getting into fights on Twitter with Louisville fans, John got into a little kerfuffle over someone who did not have Oakland high enough. John, other than being into the Twitter beef, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I think what I'm most excited for is having no logical consistency to my picks here and just completely going on gut feeling.
Good. I'm sure at some point we are going to talk about why we picked what we did, because the way this is going to work, we're all going to give our rankings, or not our complete rankings, but this team is A, this team is B, so on and so forth. If there is a large discrepancy, we will let the highest ranker and the lowest ranker duke it out and yell at each other, and I don't know, probably get into more arguments like we've already been in the backstage. But listen, we've been here for 6.5 minutes. Let's give you what you've been waiting for, which is our official pick, because that's what's been on everybody's mind, obviously. So let's go ahead and get into the picking. All right. Alan, the man with two monitors.
Yes, I am. I'm raring to go. Are we starting alphabetical? Because if we are, then I have no idea where we start, because I am
just start. Since it's already technically in alphabetical order, you can just go in order as it's listed on the page.
Oh, I see. Because I'm thinking team names of Memphis isn't an A, bro. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's
901.
901, and it's I get it now. I get it, because every time I hear Memphis, I just hear area code, so maybe it's A, and then that's why we're starting with. All right, so Memphis 901 is our first team.
Ryan,
and
I put them in the A category.
Alan,
I am looking up mine, and I put them in. Where are they? Oh, I put them in C. I said they are bang on average.
Phil,
I've got Memphis in B. Classic shield shape, but they mix it up with the neon, so that moves them out of C and into B for me.
Sergio,
I have them in C. They look like they want to be a record disc and also hypnotize you at the same time. So it's just average to me.
John.
Yeah, I had them be. They're a little bit of fun there. I mean, shield, but fun.
I had them in A. So who else had them A? It was me and Ryan. And then who all had them C?
I had them in C.
Okay. So for me, just going to throw it out there for my one, my one thing is that this is the only thing they got going for them. Don't ruin it. In all seriousness, though, I like the colors. Even though it is just a normal shield, I feel like they do it well. And the neon lights, I mean, that's pretty Memphis. They encapsulate the city pretty well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have to agree. That's Memphis with the record disc in the middle, the neon lights. It's very similar to another club in the league that has neon lights considerably in their logo that I'm also a fan of, that crest, but that'll be for later in the show.
So Ryan is a fan of neon lights. So if you want a good rated kit logo, neon lights. I think it's fine. I think there's some other more interesting and kind of more iconic logos / crests. I think I'm going to say crests from now on, because that's going to lead me to my conclusion about Tampa Bay later. So I'm setting myself up now for the Tampa Bay weirdness. So as far as crests are concerned, it's fine. I mean, there's the colors make it interesting, but everything else seems just to be like, all right, we have to fit everything into the shield. It's fine. That's why I said it's average. I can go a little bit higher, but then I didn't want so many B's and not enough C's. I felt like a teacher. Like, everyone deserves an A. No, they don't. They don't deserve an A.
So I guess if we go off what we said, this pretty much puts Memphis as a low A, high B area. So are we just going to go with a B? I feel like more people gave it B's and
two
C's.
A's, 2 C's, 2 B's. That averages out to a B.
I'm okay with B.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. ATL2.
D.
I give him a B.
F.
It hurts as an Atlanta United fan, but I gave him an F also.
I went D.
I gave him a B as well. And I'm just going to throw my this one truly is my steaming hot take. The ATL2 logo is better than the ATL. There it is.
I don't think that can be possible because it wouldn't exist without the first one.
Sure, I guess.
Logically,
Something about the nail. There is something about that nail.
The nail through the two. I like it.
It's
iconic.
the closest thing to Bethlehem Steel still in the league, so I think that gives it some points. I think the two argument. I'm going to approach two arguments. I'm going to forget that Atlanta United, the big club, exists and just judge this based purely on like it's Atlanta too. It fits the team. The colors are nice. Like Atlanta doesn't even really have the nail thing, which is like super hyped in their club. I liked it for that reason because for a 2 logo, it's not just it's the same as our. And I'm going to completely change my argument, move my goalposts here because I can do that. We're a 2 team, but we have our own kind of logo identity. Where a lot of the other ones were like, let's just take our top team and slap a 2 on it and be done.
It's literally a 2, Alan. It's a giant 2 in the center of the badge. It's not like
there's a giant
nail.
A giant 2
on black and red stripes. I'm not having this.
But it's got a nail in it. It's totally different. It's like Vanilla Ice and Under Pressure. It's totally different.
They got the red and they're like, okay, we got the red and black stripes. What else we got? Okay, it's a 2 team. Like, how about a giant 2? Okay, cool. There's got to be something else. I don't know, like maybe the spike through the middle of the 2. Okay, job done.
I agree with Phil.
No,
I also didn't want Kaler to be on an island here, so that's the other reason.
I agree. If you said that Atlanta United doesn't exist, if Atlanta United didn't exist, it would be a 2 with a spike in it. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't have to make sense. It looks good. Plus, okay, here is where I also stand. I think a crest should represent the fans and the teams. And I think this does a very good job because Atlanta United Senior constantly drives a stake through that team and kills it every single offseason. It fits.
Wow. Yeah, so if we're going off our results, it's a B properly.
Next up is the Battery. This one was the one I was the most interested on
Twitter.
Twitter.
With you guys there. I can't.
A.
I also went with A.
A. Solid A.
And who else goes?
Give it an A also.
Begrudging B, but it's borderline.
And it's an A for me. There was a lot of people on Twitter who had this one as an easy S tier or as the only S tier, which I was a little surprised by. I think it's a cool branding, but I think as a crest itself, I don't think it's S tier. But I've also noticed that circle crest do really well, which is interesting. And screw you, Andy.
Well, look at all the crests in MLS. Like pretty much every crest is now a roundel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least this one has something interesting. Honestly, I get that they have cannons, and that's cool. But I kind of like the moon. It's nice. The moon is pleasant.
Well, as the low man here, I will defend. Like it does justice to the old crest, and the moon folds in what you're getting with South Carolina's flag symbolism. So I think an A is a pretty fair rating on it.
Prime B territory. I get it.
I
All
just
right,
think
next.
it has a I just think
I
it has a
think-
classic. I think it has a classic look. I think that's what saves this. Is it just feels like way older than it is, and it just feels like it has history to it, and I love everything about it.
Yes,
If you can,
absolutely. I think we're gonna talk about some other crests later on that people are gonna like say the word clean around in terms of putting it higher tier. This is simplicity done in a very good way. There is simple later in this list done in a not good way. So I'm just this is simplicity at its finest.
I will say Charleston has another shirt that they sell, which is the Holy City Football Club, and like everything they do is just simplistic and nice. I enjoy it. Plus, not many teams just make a straight up pink shirt, which is just pleasant. But next up is the recently self-relegated. It's going to be the Charlotte Independence.
I guess a B.
C.
B for me.
D.
I went B.
I went C. So, Gio, did you say B or D?
I said D. D.
Why?
I just don't care for it. I feel like this is one of those ones that I could find on clip art as a kid. If I really wanted to makes it. I don't see anything special. And I hope we beat them many, many times because of their basic logo.
Just because of the basic logo.
This
Nothing
is
to
the
do with the
basic
front
logo and a
office.
few other things, but we don't have to. Yeah, we don't have to talk about that's for another day.
Fair enough. Anybody else on this one before we get to what is probably going to be my biggest hill to die on? No. Okay, everybody else go first.
F.
I also have this as an F.
I guess I was kind. I said D.
This was the easiest F I had all night.
I went C. Jeez.
Boys, this is an A. This is an easy A.
This crest looks like the warning you would find at a campground to tell you there are wolves in the vicinity. It's not a soccer club crest.
And shouldn't you be afraid
If it
of
had
wolves?
It's not scary.
Not that one.
A good wolf crest would be like wolves in England. This doesn't look like a good wolf crest.
Didn't they just like? Aren't the wolves not even doing it? Look,
The wolves are
here's
doing
the thing.
fantastic in the Premier League.
Here's the thing. And this is where I get to. If you show off your natural geography, I'm going to be a fan of it. I like that the mountains are included. I think it's great. Also, I don't care if the wolf looks sad. You know what? So do their fans half the time. It fits the club. I think I think it's pleasant.
They are
I
sad.
would wear it. I like the colors to it. Does the wolf look sad? Yes. Whatever. It's an A. It looks good.
Wait,
I will hear
those are
nothing else.
mountains?
Pause for a second. Who knows the relevance of the wolf to the city of Chattanooga? Anyone? Because that's my whole issue here, I think, is that a lot of these have something that sticks out as distinctively that city, and then this is just kind of like Sad Wolf for no
Well,
reason.
I mean,
And
I'm pretty sure
that's
that
me being ignorant, but
there's a ton of wolves in Chattanooga. It's a whole mountainous
John, I'm
area.
watching Game of Thrones right now.
right. But I've seen a coyote in my neighborhood, and that doesn't mean, you know what I mean?
I
Alright.
would be willing to go to B if we had the wolf with the tear in its eye and the ear, because that represents a team much better than this atrocity here.
I just think it's like the totality of everything going on. Like if they like, this is one of those times where it's like, hey, if you edited out like 2 or 3 things, this might be like a pretty decent crest. But to go back to Phil with the takedown of Atlanta 2's design, this is like, well, we can have like stripes in the background, and we can have an asymmetric thing, which are apparently mountains, which I didn't make any connection to. I just thought they were like little
Mountain.
zigzags at the bottom.
Lookout
like,
Mountain.
And we're gonna like make him look mad and tough with like a guy going like on his forehead. Like it's just, There's just a lot to not like about this.
The key is that if they did literally just the silhouette of a cool looking wolf as the whole crest, that could have been it. Like they could have made a whole identity around just a really badass wolf design, and they didn't. Like they screwed that up. So and they've got
Like
this
Game of
little gray
Thrones,
sunburst
the
in the back
Starks
or
wolf.
whatever. This little
like
gray and
like
light
Loud and
gray,
Uni-
dark gray, whatever.
Like Loud and United, which I hashtag spoilers gave a D. So I mean they're nailing it on that one with the silhouette but I mean even that is like better. It's like a step up.
Yeah.
Well, that's a step down for me, boys. And I'm the host, and that's all that matters. All right. Next up is the Switchbacks.
The Switchbacks logo, every time I look at it, it reminds me of the TARDIS from Doctor Who, but I gave it a B.
Well, that just makes me want to move it to S then, because I am wearing my TARDIS shirt. I give it an
Doctor Who
A.
fan as well. It's just, it reminds me.
Yeah,
It's
I give it
B
an
for
A.
me.
I think the redesign made it even better than the previous iteration, so like I'm happy for it.
This is where things diverge. I gave this a D.
I also gave it a D. I might have been a little harsh. I do like the colors, but it's whatever to me. I don't care for it very much.
Yeah, unique shape, good colors, too generic overall. That's a C.
It was a D for me. Yeah. I mean, this is another one of them that was interesting. Logged on to hear the Wolves crest is an A.
No.
The Premier
Christian is
League
a Wolves fan.
The Premier League Wolves
in the
crest
Premier
is
League.
fantastic.
Yeah. No, and Wolves, yeah.
Wolverhampton is S, but
Wolverhampton,
Old
that's
gold.
fantastic.
You'll hear no old gold slander here. That's
Anyway, I mean, yeah, the Switchbacks, it's fine. It's a unique shape, but to me, it's the gray and black all in together because I looked at it for so long and I was trying to figure out what the interior image is, and I still don't know.
It's the inside of the TARDIS.
yeah, I think.
Now,
I
see,
think
if they had like the Ninth Doctor in there, that'd be awesome. That's an easy S tier for me.
I think them
Easy.
going. I like the idea of what Colorado Springs did in practice in terms of like what it meant for their kits and what it meant for like the larger design elements and stuff like that. But as for the crest, like I think the loss of the contrast in the middle of the badge is a big miss because I think the black and gray doesn't really work for me. So that's my whole thing.
I like black and gray because it's very slimming, but as a chunky guy, that's like a personal, like white kits to me is a turnoff because I'm going to spill something on it. So I appreciate the dark on dark because it makes me look skinnier. So that's why like the new Switchbacks logo feels skinnier to me. So I appreciate it.
What is a switchback, by the way?
It's a really quick turn, like when you're
On a
hiking.
mountain.
So
In a trail, yeah.
Okay, see, that's what I thought, but then I was like, is it okay? So their branding is a U-turn.
Which, I mean, if we think about what they've done since they've rebranded, is kind of a U-turn. So I think it fits.
You know what? Hey,
Fitting.
good on them.
Yeah.
Easy S tier. Next up, Detroit City.
Newcomers in the league get an S.
I gave them a B, but I thought really hard about giving them an F just to like stir some stuff. But that's not who I'm trying to be anymore.
S for me as well.
I give him a big fat F.
Okay. John.
That one.
I mean, easy S.
Yeah.
I gave it an A. Okay. Gio, you have to explain yourself, man.
Yeah, what is that? That's the worst.
I just
here.
I look at it. I look at it and I just don't get it. Are they a Hindi team? I don't see. I don't care for their fans very much either, so that might have some little bias into it. But I they're newcomers in the league. They got to earn their way up, and I just don't care for it. They have a star. They haven't won anything real, nothing professionally. So.
Well, I mean,
So-
they won Nisa,
So I'll
but that's
stick with
yeah.
I think it is overrated. That's NISA though. They don't even pay their refs.
So
Other players.
So this is easy S tier because for me it's a statue that it is literally the spirit of Detroit, like at the center of the city. They use a traditional crest shape in that badge sort of shape, but eschew it with the arms, outside of the badge, the glowing star in the hand, all that. And then, I mean, the red and gold is just like classic. It works so well. And now it's been around for however, like 9 years in US soccer. So it stood the test of time. And just, for me, this is S easy.
See, for me, this is a situation where, again, I love when teams take stuff from their area. You're going to see this was my indie pick as well. I love like taking statues. I love taking mountains or like water or whatever. But the thing that did it for me, that I couldn't put it lower than a B because I really like the statue, but I couldn't do it higher than A because I guess it's the branding and not the crest. There's something about the colors that seem off to me. I feel like if the gold was a little bit brighter or the red was a little bit darker, I would like it more. But there's something about those two specific tones that something just doesn't sit right with me, which is the only reason why it's on an S.
Yeah,
Kaylor,
we'll agree to disagree on that one.
Kaylor's mad that LAFC didn't brand as the LA River, which is like just a cement, like with a little trickle of water, and he thought LAFC would have nailed that
as a
it
car
would have been
chase.
perfect.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know it was a statue, so that helps a little bit. But it just at first glance, I look at it and maybe it's a team from the Indian Super League, Premier League, whatever. I don't know. I didn't know, so I appreciate you guys giving me that information. Yeah, I learn something new every day.
All right, let's go to the locomotive.
It's an A for me.
A as well.
A.
Gave it an A also.
I went C.
So I can't find it on mine anymore. I don't know what happened, but I know I did not put it high enough because I didn't realize until Phil pointed out that those are mountains. I didn't know that. I thought it was supposed to be like a mirror image of the bottom, which instantly brings it up to an A for me.
Wait, you knew that Chattanooga's was mountains, and this is
the
not
negative space was mountains.
Well, the difference is that I've never been over there, so I didn't know that El Paso was mountainous. When I think desert, I think the big freaking empty. I'm from around. I've driven through Chattanooga. I've seen it. That's the way.
Good old Southern boy.
Wait, there are no mountains in El Paso?
No, I don't know what Harry's high right now. So the Franklin Mountains run right through the city, and that's the star on the side of the mountain is actually there. It looks just like that. God damn it, Harry. All right, and then I think the outline of this badge is what sets it apart. Actually, like the silhouette to me is so unique. The like little flare at the bottom, because it's not just that straight cow catcher shape. It's got those, it's got that little like architectural detail from the sea as well. I think this crest is A tier for sure, because it's a whole new shape, incorporates a bunch of different elements while still being a focused brand, and you're not confused about like what's going on. So
I have to agree with Phil there, because I'm going to make the same statement about the top of San Diego's badge. Those are the things that really kind of stand out to me with some of those, when like that extra little thought about how you like surround the badge itself is pretty unique. The cow catcher, the star, it's just a classic. And then this plays really well on their kits as well. I think that's the other thing, that with this specific iconic moment here, to borrow this moment we have here in fashion, they've done a really good job with their kits as well, kind of incorporating a lot of those same ideas. And so it's good. I think Pony has this as like one of his favorite crests ever. and I don't disagree. I have a hard time giving it anything S besides the two I gave S's to because they're just silly and homerish. But this is a really solid crest for sure.
One of the things I really like about this crest is within the kind of front of the kind of railroad engine is those are 11 spikes, which I think is a really cool touch for the logo as well.
What's the significance of 11? I don't.
Soccer
Is there one?
11 men on the pitch, maybe.
Yeah.
Not at AFCON.
Soccer players.
Oh God.
You know,
If
like,
only the ATL2 had 11 spikes, then it would have been easy S tier.
I don't know. We have a team that has 11 in their
That would have been
name.
different.
True.
All right, next up is Tucson.
It's a C.
I gave it a D.
I gave it D as well.
Gave it a D.
Went C.
I also gave it a D, but I kind of regret it a little bit because I kind of like the rattlesnake, little bit of detail in there. I think it's nice. But
I
Yeah,
thought it was
that's
soccer ball.
Yeah, I thought it was
resident
soccer ball.
Arizona here.
No,
It was a
it's
soccer ball.
a
Yeah,
rattlesnake.
It captures kind of the desolation of the desert area that Tucson resides in.
It's a,
I don't
it's
know,
a,
like the color
it's
scheme is very
octagons.
drab. There's something
This-
about it I dig.
This
But I
definitely.
mean, granted, it's no better than a C because it does suck at the end of the day.
Oh lordy.
At least we're kind of in agreement there. Like, there's a nice aspect to it, but it is boring at the end of the day. It's kind of an arrowhead shape, which is fine. But
Mhm.
yeah. All right,
It's a
next up
soccer
is
ball.
FC Tulsa.
This is an S tier for me.
I give it an A.
I gave it a B.
I gave it an S also.
That's an A.
This is an S tier. So this is
That-
This
that
is our
Art
first
Deco,
S tier.
That scissor-tailed flycatcher, which is the state bird. This was a really successful rebrand. Like, I've got love for the old Roughnecks brand, but I mean, this is a great logo and a great scheme.
Another
Yeah.
part of this,
The Art
sorry,
Deco design, it fits in well with their crest. I really love their white with gold pinstripes crest that they have, and it's just a really well done rebrand. And it's just like you could see this as like a welcome sign into Tulsa. It is just so versatile. It's a great logo for the team.
That's what it is. I'm pretty sure that the side Tulsa lettering on it is. I'm pretty close to agreeing with John that it's the best, if not just one of the best crests in U.S. soccer. I'm pretty sure that the Tulsa is an actual sign that is hanging up in Tulsa, if I remember correctly. But for me, a big thing about crest is it either needs to be really freaking cool or it needs to last. It needs to be able to stand the test of time. You can see that crest in 50 years and it will not age a day. I mean, it was so good. The Roughnecks was great, but even when they were playing it, it was outdated. This
I mean,
FC
it does that because it just pulls from like this Art Deco of the past. So of course it's not going to age because it just feels like of that time and of the era or area that Tulsa's kind of representing here. So I think that's great. I do miss the Tulsa Roughnecks. Like, I love that logo for just the absolute like 1970s NFL style, just terribleness about it. And so like that's why I gave it an A, because it wasn't that anymore. But I could definitely understand why this is, for sure one of the better, if not best, crests in, USL.
So I have just one point on this, and that is because I won't dispute the fact that this is an extremely good crest. Like, again, taking a classic shape and doing something different with it, with the wing extending, the scissor tail, the Art Deco design, as you said. I think Tulsa, though, in terms of their kit design, and this may ruffle some feathers, that's a bird reference, but I think like their kit design has I think they've fumbled this a little bit. I think they have all of the elements to make like really, really great kits, and I think they end up just making super, super basic kits. And like this year's kits, the white, like all white and all black, for me, they need like they have this like really cool like mint green in their branding that they never ever use.
Well, they have the
There's
mural.
best third color in the league. Yeah,
They have the mural kit though, which is entirely the mint green.
Right, but I'm saying that like in their kit design, I think that's where this stumbles for me because I think they play it too safe.
we've
Like,
got a kit episode in the works here. Because
We definitely
Yeah.
have a kit episode.
We'll have a kit episode.
So we'll talk that some other time. But that's where. But no,
I also-
it is a great crest for sure.
I also want to cut people slack in COVID days. You know, when teams are trying to redesign, things might not be most available. I know some of the teams that came into the league ran into this, where it's just like they wanted to do some cool stuff, but then ran into Adidas going, "Here's our catalog pick." So I'm excited for that very reason. I'm excited to see what Tulsa does with this, because it's like we'll start out simple, but then let's say 2 years next season or this season maybe they're going to drop something super fun, and so I'm waiting for that to happen. So oxidized copper. What is this? A science podcast?
So speaking of kit episode, Forward Madison.
It'd be a long one.
That's an S tier.
I agree. S.
I went A.
I went A also.
S for me.
It's an A for me. As you can see with what I'm wearing, and if you look into my closet right now, half of the stuff in there is pink. My fiance's ring is pink. I just love pink. And anytime that you can throw pink inside of a crest and have that beautiful blue in it, just so good.
It's a unique shape for the crest. I mean, I can't think. One of the cool things I really like with crests that have unique shapes are you can just see a silhouette of the crest and you can point, hey, that's Forward Madison, or that's Manchester United, that's Birmingham City, that's Tottenham. And that's, I think, one of the things that Forward Madison has going for them, that you could just look at that shape and think that's them.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
I just
arguments. I think it's.
I agree.
I think it's a great crest for sure.
It's also like the really interesting colors as well. Like it's very inviting and intriguing. Like they chose really smart with the color of like the dark blue versus the light blue versus that color pink. And then just the like craziness of trying to explain why Madison's logo is a flamingo is like the icing on the cake. Like that whole story is just what puts us over the top. Like we talked about the connection to the community versus like the Red Wolves versus Forward Madison and a flamingo. I think that just adds to like we understand what our community is going to like connect with. And obviously our social media team was great when it first started, but I think even before that, like you're picking something that no one else would have expected to pick, but everyone from Madison's like, hell yeah. I think that it also speaks to a pretty fun crest.
Which one's the next one? Is it Fuego?
Yeah.
Yes, Fuego.
This one was also very divisive in the many tier makers that I have received. Where we got?
It's a C for clip art.
I also have this as a C.
Yeah, I had this low B. I could be swayed to C for sure.
I gave it an A, but I could go lower. But
Yeah, shield over saturation, D.
I gave it a C.
Yeah, that's a C average from us.
For me, like the idea of Fuego, the branding is good. To me, the issue is the actual Fuego and the crest sucks. If your name is going to be Fire, your fire needs to look good. But
It does look
it
like
looks
the
like
top
a
of,
red wave.
it looks like the top of Ron Weasley's hair, I think.
I was extremely shocked to see this popping up on a lot of the tier ratings, like extremely high. Like some people had this even like S tier, and I'm sorry if y'all are out there, I apologize, but we don't like the same things.
yeah, fair enough. Next up is I think, round one of Homerism, and that is Greenville.
It's a C.
I also have as a C.
C.
Big fat ass baby.
Counterbalancing, I went with a D.
I gave it an S.
Thank you.
So something
Again,
average like a B? I can't do that math that quick.
Wait, you gave it an
think
S, Kaler?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 S's?
Like I know why
That's
Gio
wild.
did.
I think that's
Okay.
a B, average.
What do
So-
you mean you know what I did?
Okay, so
It's a nice curve.
let me.
Oh, kind of like
Okay, I know. Obviously, we know why. Jeez, Geo taking just strays for no reason. Here's the
I'll
thing,
take it.
and
Let's do Omaha next.
here's where, and this is where I am struggling to remove the emotional from the purely unbiased. I love Greenville. I think it's a beautiful city. Like I said, it's where I got engaged. I love it. My fiance loves the crest too. It's one of the few that she actually likes, and it's hard for me to separate that. But I think the mountains are good. I like the natural fog of the Smoky Mountains that are in there of the Appalachia, and plus green and blue are just not common colors, and I appreciate it.
Wait, those are mountains?
Yes, they are mountains.
This episode of the USL show, we find out that Alan doesn't know what mountains are.
I live in San Diego. Oh, there's mountains here. I'm kidding. No, I'm just joking about the mountains. I figured
Actually, it's a pack of wolves, actually.
I was
Those are
waiting
clearly
just to get-
mountains. Those are clearly mountains.
I was
clearly
just waiting
mountains
for to
and
get
a river.
You're gonna tell me that Monterey also has mountains in it too. I think. No, I think it's a fine crest. I think it's fine. I mean, you claim about clip art, Geo. Like, there's nothing here that's like really exciting, like artistically. Like,
Yeah.
it's a mountain.
That's why I went D at the end of the day. Yeah.
It's like a T that's like dangling earrings of S and C. It's got a star, which is nice. I think that's something most people can't say, so that's a nice touch. So I think if I put it a C, like normally without the star, I'd be like
It's beautiful.
D, but
Yeah.
you added a. Although Orange County's gonna give me crap for not sticking with that, but it's fine. I mean, it's fine.
Next up, Hartford, a team that does have blue and green, but I gave a much different reaction
No,
to you.
I get it. I of course.
No fault for you, Gio. No fault at all. Stand proud, bro.
It's a B.
I gave this one a D.
It's okay.
C for me on Hartford.
Gio?
Gave it a D.
Yeah, I went D also.
It's an F. It's an F tier for me.
You know
It
what's
just
crazy
feels
about this one is
generic.
I think it would be better if it was just the HA.
Yes.
They could interlock the HA a lot better than they did.
Yeah, like maybe update a little or change it up a little bit. But I think that interlocked HA could be cool if it was just on its own.
The thing is that this is going to seem a little bit strange. I said that I like Greenville because of the blue and green, but I dislike Hartford for the same reason because the letters are interlocked. If you are blue-green colorblind, this is just shapes. They are just shapes. It is hard for you to tell what they are. Even as someone who is not blue-green colorblind, I was like, really fat H, and what is that? So that is what it is for me.
Yeah.
They built
RIP
off the old
Hartford
Whalers
Whalers.
motif, but it would work better if this was for a minor league hockey team rather than the
That's where I'm at.
football club of the city.
Every time I see this, I want it to be the Hartford Whalers, and it's not every time. And so every time I get disappointed. The star, I believe, is a reference to Hartford being New England's rising star. That's what I found on Google when I typed in, why does Hartford have a star? So that's clearly the most accurate explanation.
Oh, of course. Everyone,
so-
when they think of Hartford, thinks of New England's rising star.
Hey,
I honestly, I wake up somewhere and just can't get it out of my head.
all right. Round 2 of Homerism, and it is the Indy 11.
S tier.
I gave it a B.
Yeah, B for me.
I gave it a C.
It's an A for me.
I think it's an A as well.
The same things
just
people
as,
like
as
about
the indie
Detroit.
guy here. I don't know. Right, it's exactly. You get the statue downtown. The checkerboard is the classic racing motif. For me, it's a pretty clean color scheme, and I think the interplay of the shades of red is nice. But I'm woefully biased on this, so.
Well, similarly, I had it in B mainly because it reminds me of, like my dad and his new wife or whatever, like Mark Lowry going to Indy. So
I had no idea where you were going with that. I was like, Jesus Christ, Phil.
yeah, we're getting deep here on the logo tier. no, it's because Mark, it's my abandonment issues. So
I thought it was a hat on the statue. I didn't even know until I think 2 days ago.
So the big takeaway here, Gio, is that you need to learn about urban statues.
So Gio doesn't know about statues.
I-
Alan doesn't know about mountains.
I don't know about statues. We need to just have a group outing. We want to talk about vlogs. We go on a statue vlog to every city
That's what
with a USL team.
that's pretty much what my game day vlog was for my channel. Basically, half of it was me downtown pointing at the circle, going, "There's the statue. Look at the statue. The statue is cool." That was like half of it, and I had a great time.
Love the circle.
All right.
I just missed the football line. That's why I have it lower. I think if you put playoff lines. Is that what we call them? Playoff lines. If we have those in there, I think that really kind of just solidifies my love of watching Indy 11 games that people aren't going to get anymore. Oh, I'm so sad. So sad.
Next up is one that was a little bit divisive as well, and that is the Las Vegas Lights.
It's an A for me.
F.
B.
What was yours, Gio? Oh, you're muted, my guy.
He hates it so
I
much.
gave it a B. I was looking for it. I gave
I
it a
went
B.
S on this. Jeez.
You gave it an S?
I did.
All right,
I
John,
had
numbers
a
guy.
C. Mine was a C.
Okay,
is
so
our-
you're folding in obviously the Las Vegas shape with the sign, the LVFC and the sort of evoking the neon lights, the lights with the cursive font. You've got the star at the bottom. The color scheme is very original and very flashy in a Vegas way. It just feels well executed to me. I don't know.
My issue with it is that, I mean, it's Las Vegas and it has less neon than Memphis. That's why I have it in C and Memphis in A partially. I mean, I like how much neon Memphis has, but if you're the Las Vegas Lights, don't get me wrong, it's a cool crest, but like there's less neon, it's less flashy. It just kind of sucks that another team in Memphis outdid you in flashy and neon.
I'd honestly say this is more flashy than Memphis. Memphis almost seems more like a muted kind of flashy look, where this is actually like it pops out and like you recognize this is Las Vegas. It's also another one of those iconic shapes, I guess, when you look at the outline, like that's Las Vegas.
Yeah, I do. I'd say this is, in terms of the neon execution, this is definitely the better of the two, but the shape is what brings it higher for sure.
So for me, when I see this crest, all I can see in my brain is their like mascot mashup of Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley, and then having to play them 4 times a season and them just not being good. Like I just associate this crest with like not good. And like objectively, this is a very nice crest. It does all of the things that I've said crest should do, but I can't get past every time I see that. I see it on like the jacket, and then their kits were just terrible. So like just it was bad. It's not has anything to do with the crest. It's just the emotion that it evokes for me. It's just like disgust and disdain, and I can't help but rate this lower. It's objectively a great crest, but for me, it's like you drink too much of an alcohol and you like get sick and you never want to see it again. That's the Las Vegas Lights logo to me.
And that's the Las Vegas experience.
John.
Also true. Also true. All right. I'll rate it higher. Give it a B now. It represents Vegas.
John, why exactly to you is this an S?
I mean, it's what I was saying, where I think it captures a lot of in the shape of it, in the font choices, in the color, it captures that brightness of Las Vegas. But there is the shade of control and understatedness in comparison to a Memphis. But you sort of evoke the classy Frank Sinatra style idea of Vegas at the same time. Like it gets a little bit more of the complexity of what's going on, and it does it with a pretty original look. So that for me is what set it apart.
All right, so this is already getting a little bit long, so there's a few of these we really don't have to talk about much. Yeah, Los Doses. Does anybody have them higher than an F?
I do just want to say, like, if you have it above an F, get your head checked. That's
Yeah, no, F.
No.
Geo.
Big F.
So somebody is
It's an
taking a
F.
little bit of liberties with some of the clicking.
Am I ahead?
No, I think you are. Ryan.
The Legion logo is a rejected Microsoft Office icon, but it's a D.
I gave it a C, but I have questions about it that might move it down lower. So C.
I think on my sheet I gave it a B, but that's a misclick. It's a C for me.
Gio.
I gave it a B, but that's because I love Kaler and I respect
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
I respect the logo.
John.
Like the colors, like the hammer, like the font. That's an A for me.
So here's my question.
Okay.
Is that an anvil or the bottom of a boot?
It is an anvil.
Okay, so it's not like Legion aren't like a legion of cobblers. Because that was my
No.
question.
Or like anti-Italian.
Also true. Also true.
All right. So Legion, Birmingham is a steel mill town. We were built off steel. There were at points where we produced more steel than Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh can suck it. All right. And so, I mean, the three sparks right beside the hammer and anvil.
I thought those were mountains.
Not this time. You're getting close. We are the foothills of Appalachia.
It's not a statue.
Stop. No one cares. I care, Andy.
You use steel to make a statue.
Hey,
Yeah, Kaler,
if we
we're running
had,
long.
I'm telling
Kaler
you.
also, here's the history of steel in Birmingham.
Oh, I could tell you. I could tell you so much about the history of Birmingham. It's ridiculous. I love it. It's so good. But I gave it an S. But I'm biased. But for me, the main reason I gave it an S is I also think that this is a crest that holds up in about 50 years. I think that this one is a timeless look, and it will not age poorly.
Are you anticipating
West
middle schoolers still using clip art in 50 years? Because then in that case, yes.
Yes. What do you mean? It's always going to be around. It's fine.
Secondary issue with the crest is team name being more prominent and city name either not existing or not being present makes for easy relocation. So that's the other caveat to this one for U.S. soccer purposes.
Well, that just hurt.
Austin Legion.
I'm not
here we
saying
go.
it will happen. I'm just saying that, if they wanted to do it, they wouldn't even have to rebrand. They could just be the something else Legion.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's a great crest. And listen, the community gave it an S. I'm one of the people. I'm a man of the people. All right. Louisville City.
Probably don't need to talk about this one, right? Like nobody really has strong opinions about Louisville. Or
The old crest was better.
It's a D for me.
Yeah, it's a C or a D because the old crest was so much better, and this is just so much more generic. Like it's fine, but they had something good here.
Oh no,
Yeah.
we can't find gold. Suck it up.
So I gave us a C. I think some of the people who tried to correct the previous redesigns, design logos were like dynamite, way better. So this is like the new old one. So I gave it a C.
It was a D for me.
Yeah, I mean it's
It was an F for me.
BC generic.
Again, now I'm just saying, if they would have rebranded and it looked more like the Racing Louisville, easy S tier all day long. But instead, they went the crappier version. What was next? Loudon. This one was funny because there were several S tiers with the Loudon and several F tiers. I feel like there was no in between on this one.
This is a D tier for me because it looks like the logo for a competitive chess team.
It does.
I put C because this one just I felt absolutely nothing looking at it, so it just landed in C like by default.
Yes, competitive chess team.
Yeah.
I have it as D for that very reason.
Is this
Like
a
the
statue
C's,
of some sort?
there are
There's so many
people don't know that.
Pegasi in Loudoun County.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. People don't know
Yeah.
that.
Just flocks.
Yep.
So I guess I gotta take my F back. But if there is a statue,
Is it a Hindi thing?
it might be.
That's good.
Yeah, I had it as I had it as an A personally. I do like it that it's a kind of a chess piece. I think it's fun. Also, you don't see many Pegasus around in the world, and I just like that. But
Pegasus.
I totally get it.
Pegasi?
Pegasus.
Pegasi.
Yeah.
Pegasuses.
Pegasi.
I almost failed English. I'm not the one to ask. B trademark. Miami FC.
See, it's fine.
I gave it a D.
Tide Pod FC. So C.
Gio.
I gave it a D. It's okay. Nothing special.
F does
Wait.
nothing that says Miami.
Except the world revolves around Miami. That's as Miami as it gets.
But Miami's not even centered in the crest.
Right.
Like if you tilted the Earth so Miami was centered, like I would get at the river. It's like, is that like
Bermuda
Panama?
Triangle FC.
Yeah. Mr. Worldwide.
This is Mr. 305.
This is a Pitbull
this is a-
reference.
That's gonna be
Pitbull
Charlotte.
FC.
That's gonna be Charlotte's new crest.
If they added in the word "the" in bold letters across
Yes.
of it, it would be much
S.
better.
Yeah,
If
for
it
sure.
literally just said the FC, I'd buy all of their merch.
Or Will Smith.
I mean, yeah, I think what I give it, I gave it a B. I like the fact that the globe is there. Again, I like the geography thing. I mean, I love maps and globes, but my goodness, the colors. And this is partially me being an Alabama fan where like orange and blue are just sickening to me. But also, these are two really bad oranges and blues. I think by themselves, the orange and blue are just the wrong color of orange and blue. Who's up
Alright.
next? Monterey
feel-
Bay.
I feel like we could probably loop 3 of these together because they're all Control C and Control V of the same logo.
You took
If you
the
toss
words
in
right
New
out of my
Mexico
mouth,
and
Ryan.
Hailstorm. Here, this is all Control. I put these all as my D tier. They're fine, Crest,
Yeah.
but it's just the fact that we have 3 of them in the league.
Hailstorm gets minor credit for the hail,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like they're just so similar and so
But-
uninspiring.
Okay, so here's where I had them all in D tier as well. I think that the Monterey Bay, I think it's horrible. I almost put it in F. I think it's horrible. The one thing I will give, now maybe I'm wrong here, but I think I'm right. I didn't research it. I know it's not a statue, but I think that New Mexico's is kind of based on their state flag, which I appreciate. Hailstorm. I've never heard of I never heard the ping pong ball thing before, but that is hysterical. And Monterey Bay, I get that it's trying to be the ocean, but that is the least ocean I've ever seen. What is it?
A
It's
fingerprint.
lines. They said this is the current, except when does the current meet like this? That doesn't happen. It goes onto the shore. What crack did they smoke? I hate it.
I had Hailstorm a little bit higher, only because like some of the asymmetricalness, and that these remind me of bell mallets. And as a music teacher, I appreciate that music is making their way onto Crest. There were some other things that people were reminded of about this little symbolism. Yeah, United's fine. I think United gets more love because of its involvement with their kits. Like, it's a nice looking crest when you match it up with just like the all black, especially with the Meow Wolf stuff. I think as a combination it looks great, but as a crest itself, it's fine.
I'm seeing a few people in chat, saying move it up because it was the OG and that it actually does something. I'm not against it, but
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
It doesn't do enough to actually show the Pueblo emblem in the middle for me. But that's my take. So,
and I've seen people want to use like I want to say it's like a maroon color on the flag, if I remember correctly.
it is, yeah.
Like change the black to that maroon, and then you get to that Detroit City maroon and gold kind of deal, or like incorporate a little bit of turquoise, since turquoise is such like synonymous with the area. Like there's some things that they could have like tweaked and added to make it a little bit like even more like connected to New Mexico. But yeah, I agree. Like once you get that explained to you, you're like, oh yeah, I get it. I can totally see it now. But like on its own, you're like, oh, you want me to remember what everyone's state flag looks like? I'm probably gonna miss. But again, if it's for New Mexico and you guys are all for it, then it's the same kind of deal with, you know, the El Paso locomotive deal, or the Flamingo for Madison. So I'll move it up.
It's just a more boring execution of something that could have been really, really cool, in my opinion.
So North Carolina.
It's a C for me because I live here, but that's another state flag logo.
I had this as a D.
C.
I had it as a D also. It's a little clip artish to me also.
Fat F because it replaced the greatest logo of all time.
Oh, the Rail Hawks. I
The
missed
Rail
that.
Hawks.
What a horrible rebrand. Like seriously, horrible rebrand.
Soulless.
I gave it a D. The only reason it wasn't an F is because it was the state flag thing for me. I appreciate it. But North Carolina is all mountains. Do more mountains. Don't just be star. You can be star with mountains. Something besides this. Anything besides that.
Oakland is S tier.
I gave it an A.
Yeah, I had A as well.
I had A also.
I gave it an S.
I gave it an S, but partially because #ad. I did an interview with Project 510 head coach yesterday, and he was wearing the Project 510 logo like right here the whole time, and it looked so good on just normal merch. And I'd only seen it as a profile picture and on an actual kit. I never just seen it on clothes before, but seeing it on just normal clothing did it for me. I love it. S tier.
It's a good logo.
Yeah. As far as circle logos go, they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great design.
Oh boy,
Right.
Here comes Andy's favorite.
I'm assuming Andy has this as a solid E tier, but I'm not positive.
It's a C tier for me. It looks like a carrot.
I gave it a D.
C for me.
I gave it a D.
D as well.
I've never heard anybody
looks
refer
like a
to it as a
carrot.
carrot. That's
That's-
hysterical.
That's what it looks like.
Um,
That's the outline. That's the color scheme. It looks like a carrot.
Orange carrot.
Orange. Yeah, that's what it stands for. That's what the OCSC Orange Carrot Soccer Club.
Apparently, it's supposed to represent the tip of a surfboard. Which,
What?
Andy, I
think it's
don't
a
hate
little bit of-
nutrition. Carrots are my favorite vegetables.
Which, to be fair, like
The tip of a
I think that's like
surfboard.
something you add after the fact to be like, yeah, it's like a surfboard, like the tip of a surfboard. That's it. What's cut off in this logo is there are little 3 leaves that make the O an orange, which is like fine. What I said earlier was like I miss the connection to the OC Blues. I think that they could have like done a nod to somewhere in here. They do have the blue kits now, but like it just feels like someone was like, hey, we want something that looks not offensive that we can slap on a shirt and sell to corporate sponsors. And apparently a carrot is what it is.
The USA Blues was an iconic classic USO logo.
Yeah, I don't. Again, it's another one where like it pops up and I feel nothing. Like it it doesn't evoke any response.
I haven't laughed that hard in so long. When you said the surfboard and Gio goes, what? That got me. Oh my God. I have not laughed that hard in so long. Oh, that was so good. I'm going to think kindly of the crest now just because I'm going to be thinking of surfboard. What? Oh, that was good. I had it as a B. The Blues was better. The Blues were a lot better, but also, if they had the partnership with the Rangers, wouldn't the Blues sell better in Scotland with the Rangers?
With just Rangers.
No
Get
one in
trouble for
Scotland
saying
is buying that kit. Let's be real.
I
The
like
Rangers.
to think that they are. In my mind, I feel like that's the easy marketing scheme of, hey, Rangers, we're partnered. We also are blue. Huh?
We can just skip the next one, right?
I don't.
This does
Yeah.
fire better than Fuego did.
It does. I think
True.
that's why I had it.
It's A.
I have a B.
C for me.
Like
Like
A also.
middle of the road C.
Yeah, eh.
I had
Really?
it as B. I'm just going to throw it out there. I didn't know it was a Phoenix until literally today.
Oh,
That's
Listen,
on
You give me crap
bud.
about mountains.
No, I thought that the soccer ball was just on fire because the desert is hot. I never thought about it anything further than that. I thought it was just a soccer ball that was on fire. Which that's how I voted it. If I would have known it was a Phoenix, maybe I would have gone higher. I don't know. The orange and the red don't go together with me. They're
I
just
think if
they
you-
don't.
I think if you take the badge off and it just says like Phoenix Rising with just that soccer ball logo, like I have that hat like in full, like I have that logo on a hat in the copper that they sold a couple years ago because I thought that that's like a great soccer logo. Like if you don't know the USL, that is a really like nice looking logo, but like you throw it on a crest and put that orange rim around it, it just kind of loses the focus of that kind of nice Phoenix-y design. Yeah, it could be probably a little bit better, but I think throwing it on a badge like that makes it just takes it away a little bit.
I think
Valley
this
Resin.
is
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
basic. I think this is basic, but that's just I mean the Phoenix is fine. I don't know. Like to me it's a shield. It's got a soccer ball on it. You know, it's not to me this doesn't hit like the heights of some of these other designs.
Yeah, and as the part-time Valley resident, you like do something with the mountains, do something with the natural geography
Or
of
mountain.
Phoenix a little bit. There's a lot more. But the bird is good. It's a clean logo, and I have it as an A for a reason. But it could be more creative and representative.
don't
You
disrespect
know, if
the
you look at
Phoenix.
it right, you can make the Phoenix a mountain.
No,
I mean, I would believe it's a mountain.
It might
What were
be
you
a
saying,
statue.
Gio?
It might be a statue. I don't know. I think a Phoenix is more than just a bird. I'm also a Harry Potter fan, also. So I think if they do a decent job to have a Phoenix with a soccer ball.
Fair enough. Baby Bulls. I mean,
no, it's enough.
F.
F.
across
Red
the
Bull
board,
is better
drop it
than
down there.
Monster.
Metro Stars 2 would have been better.
Oh man,
The Metro Stars
RIP.
were so much better.
Yeah.
They were so,
So much better.
All right. Rio Grande.
D.
D.
D. It's Looney
D.
Tunes.
D.
C, but yeah,
This was the easiest F for me on this entire list. I hate it.
clean D average there. Yeah.
I hate it so much.
Like it's not offensive, but it's just I mean the horns are like the only thing that moves this from an F to a D. If this was just RGV Toros without the little horns sticking out the side, it's clearly F. But the horns give me a little bit of life. So
Or
That's the
mountains.
exact reason. That's the reason I said that it was an F. Because like there's breaking out of the crest like Detroit and Tulsa do, which is nice. It to me, the horns with the Toros, it's like, hey, there's people around. There's gonna be people around the country who don't know what Toros means. Better make sure they know it's a bull. I hate it. I hate it so much. What's next? The kickers?
kickers.
This is a classic one. We don't have too many logos that like last for so long from the 90s to today. I mean, it's a shame that New England got rid of their iconic Crayola flag logo for this year, but we need to have more consistency and logos in this country. And the kickers represent that for me. I put it originally as a C, but just for that iconic history, it belongs much higher than that.
I also had it as a C, but I can be convinced higher.
I had it as B for consistency.
And it's also an
gave it-
iconic shape as well.
Yeah, I like the shape.
I gave it a D. I think Kangaroo would have been better, and it just reminds me of an intoxicated Hailstorm or New Mexico United. It doesn't know what direction it wants to go. It can't go in a straight line. It's all over the place.
Intoxicated
Classic.
hailstorm.
Yeah, it's good. It's classic, but I don't love it, and I gave it an F actually.
Oh, wow. I also gave it a C. I do wish the kangaroo maybe was there. Like, I understand the consistency and I appreciate that. But the thing that I've never been able to figure out, other than to make a K, who's shooting the ball and it goes up? If I'm going to shoot the ball, none of these shots
Goal kick.
are going into the goal.
Someone intoxicated.
Absolutely zero of these shots that there are on the crest are going into the goal.
Unless you're looking at it from a above the field standpoint, and these are like great through balls and switches of play,
Mhm.
maybe.
Straight out of John's videos.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, wait, John, can I put in a tactics request?
We'll see.
Can you please watch some Richmond Kickers games and try to find the Richmond Kickers logo in the play?
I'll do my best.
What's after that? Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
I think it's a good upgrade off of their previous logo. And it's fine. B tier.
I gave it a C.
C. Two crests. A crest inside of a crest. Inception for C.
I gave it a D.
Turducken
It's
of-
okay.
Turducken of crests.
Yeah, I went B. It's a lot of good elements. It's too busy, but I like the ideas there.
It's like
I
it
gave
wants to
it-
be. Go ahead.
I gave it a B. I was going to give it a C, but I appreciate the subtle hints of the river at the bottom. It's a good touch.
I'm
It-
saying like make the single paw and soccer ball logo your club crest, you cowards.
The bridge iconography is the best part of it, though.
Oh, where's the bridge?
The
The
Oh,
steel
boy.
on the side,
Here we go.
steel
connecting
on the side.
Pittsburgh and Riverhounds.
Oh, that's sick. Oh, I should have gave it an A. Golly, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
This seems to me like it's like the Charleston logo, but it's trying too hard.
Yeah.
It's too busy. I agree with that.
Like edit. This is one of the ones that's just like just edit a little bit, and I think this would be very nice.
All right. Next up is
This is A tier. Sacramento is a fantastic, fantastic crest.
I gave it a B because the bear and the star don't seem to like. I think they're just. It feels a little unbalanced. I like the crest. Like it's. I really like the crest. It just feels a little bit like it's gonna tip over.
I gave it a C.
I gave it a C also.
I gave it an A, but I see the argument about like the use of space and the sizing here.
You could probably switch the bear and the star, and
Somebody made a bear kit. We were tagged in that. Oh, I want a bear kit so bad. I gave it an S. Again, hard to not think about the feelings here. It's my fiance's favorite crest because she loves bears, and quite frankly, I just think it just makes me happy. Also, I like the big red star. Tan is not normally used. See, Christian says that the tan is unappealing. I think the tan is refreshing after seeing the same colors over and over again. And Andy, the weird squiggles are the river, the three rivers. I think it's three, but I know for sure the one river right beside the stadium for Pittsburgh. So it's water under the bridge. It's water under the bridge that I didn't know was there.
Terrible.
Oh boy.
Nah.
Moving on.
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
D.
C.
Yes, C for me too.
D.
D.
C.
I'm sorry, Harry.
Why did
Yeah.
you put it as a
You
B?
are not the Spurs.
Yeah.
They're owned by the
Spurs
Spurs.
Sports and Entertainment.
Yeah. I think
FC.
every one of their logos, like each of the teams they own has a spur somewhere in it, which is like, I get it. I don't mind the spur, but it's like the spur with the stripe. It just feels like the same thing with Sacramento. It just feels very like unbalanced and weird. Like what I'd like them to do eventually is to do a rebrand with this and bring in that checker design that's been kind of going after. Maybe like redesign the background with that checker logo and kind of hold on to that a little bit more. It just feels weird.
But then you're just Indy 11 South, you know.
All right. I mean,
Is that
it works
not El
for
Paso?
works for Colorado and New
No.
Mexico.
Oh.
Right. He left, you know,
Alright.
a while ago. We've moved on.
If you're using the whole San Antonio Spurs brand, use the 90s Fiesta colors. Those things
Yeah.
are iconic. Yeah.
And I
Their
think they did
Fiesta
that for a moment, right?
Kit's
They did
really
that-
good.
Yeah, they did have those Fiesta kits, which were great. And then they painted the gold net that color too, and that was super fun to watch. Like I enjoyed that.
The loyal.
Bias time.
I'll let Alan go first here.
I gave this an S, but I'll get into my reasons later.
B.
B.
I gave it a B also.
Yeah, that's a B.
It's an S, boys. Come on. It's an S.
Do your thing, Alan.
I think some of the things we talked about the El Paso locomotive on this one, it's cut off. The bottom part of this crest is that same sort of Spanish style that is prevalent in San Diego as well, which I really enjoy. No, sorry, the top. El Paso is the bottom. San Diego is the top. Kind of the mission kind of look. The green is going to become more prominent this season, moving over to Charlie. So I think that's going to be another thing that really helps this crest pop. This crest looks great on every color. Like I put it on a blue water bottle, looks great. I put it on an orange kit, looks great. White kit looks great. For a San Diegan, like the name in of itself, we can talk about later. But it's a very unique color combination. Like I get that it's like Miami, like the football, like the Dolphins or whatever they're called. But it's just like that extra layer of that Tory green, which only exists in San Diego. There's a very rare tree, and that color green only exists in San Diego and like Catalina Island. So there's like this huge connection to the community. The San Diego SD is like always like the secondary brand. The balance from side to side, it just looks pretty, and my wife likes it. So that's also a reason.
S tier for San Diegan alone. Just the word San Diegan One little touch in this I like that the SC makes the hole in the A. I think that's a cool little thing. Also like the colors. The colors are, again, appealing to the eyes.
Yeah, the ombre gradient that they use is cool.
The loyal word mark is what ruins this for me. I haven't liked it since they put it out, and it has not grown on me, and that's just the reality. Like I just don't like it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, and it's the biggest element of the crest. Otherwise, the shape and every, it's a unique shape. Colors are really nice, but yeah, that word mark just, I don't know what it is about it. I just don't like it.
So whoever did the Monterey Bay, the water and the loyal crest is what you should have gone for instead of whatever that is.
I do also want to add, like, this crest looks beautiful with like just black and white as well. Like they've done some of that as well, and that it doesn't always work with every other crest. So it's like it looks good in color, and I get Phil, I get your critiques of it. I think like maybe as a neutral, I might find this more B-ish. I get it. There's some things not to like, but I think both as like a black and white, like their Loyal Select kit had that logo, and it looks solid both in both iterations. So there's definitely some room for exploration with their new kit partners. Yes, also great on dish soap, and apparently Taylor Swift breakup SE. All right, if we're Tay-Tay and adjacent, I'll take it.
So the next one, as we're starting to come close to wrapping up, this one, I got a lot of weird messages about this one because it's not the crest or it's not the badge, but it is the crest. Listen, I used Wikipedia. I was in the middle class, not paying attention. This seems to be every single episode, and this is what I found. And
I mean, it's what's on the kits, right?
It is, right?
It is.
Yeah. So I mean,
okay, so I'm not wrong. Okay,
that's the crest as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so Tampa Bay's just dumb, and they moved away from Mustache Man. That's not my fault. Okay, cool. I thought I screwed up.
Nope.
All right. What do we got? Rankings.
I remember at the top of the episode, we were going to have the debate on the word mark versus crest. Alan, you had mentioned that at the start.
Yeah.
But
I gave us a B.
I put around a C.
This is S for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I gave it an F. It's just words. It's just letters. It's letters and 2 stars. You give me the Mustache Man. It looks so much better when if they had a kit with that on it. But this is as basic as you can be. Just change the font a little bit for the rowdies, and here we go. Let's put it on a kit.
No, I mean, I went A. This thing's a classic. You want to talk about Richmond being a classic?
Yeah,
like,
true.
This dates back to the 70s.
I can be talked
it
up
has
to an
earned
A.
the status of not being a crest per se because it is like it just has that resonance for me.
Yeah, that font is absolutely iconic.
I will not go higher than a B.
Split here. Yeah, B feels fine.
I would not go higher than a B because this is not a crest. It is a logo.
It's on the kids. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't have to be a shape. Like, it doesn't have to be a shape.
See,
and
this is
the
where
formation of the word rowdies makes it a shape. Like,
right.
I don't know.
It's its own design. Like, without being, it doesn't need the like. There's been a couple of crests on here we've talked about. Oh, without the shape, it would actually be better. There's no need to slap like a diamond around this. Like, this is iconic as it is.
Now, here's what I'll say. I get what you're saying, but for me at S tier, it means I think it's perfection. I think that it shouldn't be messed with. Considering the fact that the Rowdies have another crest, have another logo that is significantly better than this one, makes it not an S tier for me.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, same.
I think is it Ralph? Isn't that who's on the crest like that? Ralphie, something like that. That's just as iconic. Could be just as iconic. That's why I think that would be an A for me. But this, I don't care for it.
Mustache Man would be, if Mustache Man was around, it'd be the only one in S tier. I would make a whole different one that just said Mustache
Yes.
Man.
I don't disagree with that. I think if, like, when we talk about taking away the things and like Rising, like Phoenix Rising, like the reason that you take it away is because you have the iconography of the crest itself. Like if I'm thinking like a royal crest, I'm thinking like symbols that represent who I am. It's not just my name real pretty, right? So when I think of Tampa Bay Rowdies, like it's an iconic logo. And as far as like a logo is concerned, it is great. The lettering is fantastic. It's iconic. I don't know where they got the 2 stars from. So if someone asked me, I'd be like, I don't know, earlier. But I get it. Like it's your tradition, it's your history you're bringing with you, by all means. Like the coloring of their kits are great. Like again, it's an iconic, like an iconic logo, but I don't see it as like a crest. You throw the guy with the mustache in there. I'm all for it. But
I think,
I agree.
yeah, I think it's a semantics argument. I think this design is iconic, and it doesn't need to be contained by
I
the
love
definition of crest.
Hear me out. We give the red wolf a mustache.
If it's
Now
the
we're
curly
talking.
one, if it's a curly one,
That's
a
S
curly
tier.
mustache.
S tier right there.
Now we're talking.
Curly mustache with mountains in the back. S tier.
All
Make
right.
it a statue.
Tormenta.
Lest we incur the wrath of Bolt on Twitter, I'll give it a B.
Bolt
I gave
really
this a
did go
C.
hard, huh?
I gave it an A.
I gave it a B, but I'm gonna give it an A because I'm scared of Bolt a little bit. And he also followed me on Twitter today, so I just need to give him a little bit more respect than that.
Pretty bit too busy. It's a B.
I gave it an A. Again, this is another one of them where it's the pink color. I like it. I like the water feature in it. I think it's nice. And whenever the Hammers, the form what became the Legion, played Tormenta back in like the PDL days, always liked their kits and stuff back then too. They look good in person, so I can't help but think of that when I think about Tormenta as well.
They made a
Bolt
bird
apparent-
scarier than a wolf, so the extra points.
True.
Have you ever been bitten by a bird? Those things are wild, man.
No, I
I
haven't.
think Kaylor
Eric.
got attacked by goose or something at some point.
I got attacked by cockatiels. They're vicious, man. I love those birds so much. So God, I want birds. No, like parrots can like straight up like break fingers off because of how strong their beaks are. They're wild. And the last bird, just so he can tee off, Gio's going to go last on this. Ryan.
I think it's fine. It's a B. I feel like it's a pretty standard logo and no complaints. Yeah, it has the kind of Tottenham look to it, but Spurs do it better.
I gave it a B, only because they do the 3 sparks better than Legion does.
I gave it a B as well. I actually really like it, but it's it's pretty simple.
John.
Oh yeah, for the 3. I actually went S tier on it. I think it's really gorgeous, very unique within the landscape, but I am not about to start a war over this.
I went with B tier. It would have been A, but I don't like how much bigger the owl is than the soccer ball. It makes me think it's a monster bird, and it kind of scares me.
Norwich crest.
Or it's
Pretty
just
much,
Monster
yeah. Like,
bird.
or it's just the appropriate size ball for the bird.
oh, the ball. Oh, it's actually one to. It's not a size 5. They got them like a size 3.
Or maybe it's a giant bird.
That's what scares me. That's why I'm afraid.
It could be like the Eagles from
A
Lord of the
giant
Rings.
Owl.
Just fly to Mordor, you fools.
All right, Gio. What is
No,
this?
Yeah, I originally said D, but I'm just gonna give it a F. Spurs, they suck to me, and this is just a mirror image with a different bird. Um, it's not even a soccer ball. They're trying to be classic with a classic ball, but it doesn't even have the star on it. So so obviously the championship doesn't count. Um, and they're not even good enough to have a star. I just think it's basic. I've seen better crests that the supporters groups have made, but this is just Tottenham. They hired Ted Lasso in the sketches back then, and that was a joke then, and just like Omaha, they're a joke now. They don't even have enough players, so this right now, so this logo might be non-existent, and just we'll see what happens when the season comes. But I'm not a fan, so I give it an F.
I love how
This-
we went from
this-
"Hey Gio, what do you think?" to the logo, or think about this logo, and he's like, "I don't know if the team will exist soon." That's like-
they have four. They have what, 5 players? One might leave, maybe 6.
Hey, but
No,
two
no,
of them
on
are
the design, but
goalkeepers.
he
It's
hates the
fine.
club.
Well, hey, Phil, at least earlier in the episode, you would start it with the Legion logo and then told Kaler he's losing his club.
Hey, I said they could do it. That's
It's just basic. It's Spurs. Spurs, okay, they won a championship. Spurs cannot win a title, so that just is predicting the future for how the rest of Omaha's time in League One will be.
I hold that
I-
League Cup from 2008 dear to my heart.
I mean, if they do, Omaha will live on in the hearts of all of the championship teams that they have signed Union Omaha players. The more when it came out, I liked it. There's a couple things that do bug me, like is the swing like a fist that's upside down? And then the one thing I do like about Union Omaha is the supporters groups. Like the Parliament is like an awesome name for a supporters group, and the connection to the owl, like that was just like spot on supporter culture, like nailing it. This did come out. I liked it when it came out. It's still like it stands out in the mix of all of this, like because it doesn't have tons of color. It does kind of attract the eye in a way. It does feel old at the same time. Like it feels a little bit more classic.
Dated.
What dated?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have been married if I didn't date first. I mean, if I didn't, it might have happened sooner. But I mean, it's a nice crest. It's a nice crest.
So I decided to hop on Twitter and see what people were saying about this. And I hop on and I see that I'm getting called out by Phoenix for not knowing that the ball was a Phoenix. So that's how my day is going. I'm being dragged by some admin. Hey, Phoenix, if you're still watching, I'm embarrassed.
You're in for a long night. You're in for a long night, Kaler.
Just tell
They're
him
on-
just tell him you missed the Copper Kits, and you love
Yeah.
Sam Dorr.
Yeah,
That'll
yeah.
win you back.
There we go. I can't believe I didn't know that.
It's so obvious.
It is now. It is now. Okay.
But you guys would say the same thing about Detroit being a statue, so I'm not even gonna go there. But
There is a ball that's on fire downtown. Don't you understand? They just leave it there. Oh man, that's all of them. That's all of the. That's yeah. There we have it. Did this end up being any different than the one we actually posted before? Did we end up changing much? I think we had a few get bumped up a little bit. If you don't know what we're talking about, basically in our Discord, John put together kind of the aggregate of what we said, or like the average of everything that we said and posted. And I think there might have been a few changes here and there, but this was a ton of fun, ton of traction, obviously on social media, which is great for my own selfish ego. But this was fun. And as for how I got into Alabama, Andy, let me tell you something. You have to have I believe it is a 22 to get into the University of Alabama. Your boy got a 22. Barely.
and you can play an instrument.
And I can play an instrument.
A horn,
And-
nonetheless. That's
Listen, And here's what I'm going to tell you. When it comes to how did I get somewhere, how did I do something, as always, by the skin of my teeth and pure luck. Everything I do, the bare minimum. And that's all you. Hey, yeah, I got the bare minimum. That's all that matters. Because by God, I'm there. They can't turn me back now. I mean, I guess they can. Oh, God. Well, I think we're going to post the final results in just a little bit. What are some final thoughts for everybody? Ryan, you first.
This was a lot of fun. I think we'll have a historical USL logos rankings on the horizon. That may be a recording only one, but yeah, the next big one for our live stream will definitely be the kits once we have all of those released for the league.
All right, Alan.
I'm gonna go hiking. Apparently, I need to know what mountains are. So back to the mountains of San Diego.
Phil.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and with all that, I can't imagine what this group is going to be like when there's actual soccer to talk about. This is going to be it's going to be a fun year.
I didn't even mention that. This is the first time we've all been together. This is our first
is.
time the whole crew's been together. Not even our before people obviously know we met beforehand to talk about goals and stuff we wanted to see. We weren't even all there for that. But by God, we all come together to talk about some Crest. Gio, welcome back from the dead. What are some
Thank
final
you.
words?
No, I had fun. I was happy to join you guys. A lot of classic logos, but I stand by everything I say about Omaha. I will go to the grave with that. But it is fun, and I hope all the Omaha fans are in my mentions later because I love you guys with a passion.
I'm sorry, I just saw what you posted, Joe.
Oh yeah, I've got a logo designed for us based on the design elements we love the most. So check that out on Twitter. But I do think if there's one thing we can agree on, it's that LA and New York suck.
Oh my goodness. I wouldn't say that.
Well, as someone in New York right now, Red Bulls too. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The whole episode has just been side comments galore that just absolutely get me. Oh man, this was a lot of fun. If we ever sell USL show merch, this logo is the first one that's going out there. I don't care. This has been a great time. Obviously, like we said, there's some kit stuff coming. Ryan has a really fun USL Championship retrospective. We're going to be recording that, I believe, on Thursday. Should come out that night, or maybe on Friday, one of the two. Super stoked about that. Obviously, like we said, some kit stuff. And if we ever just want to sit down and take all the time, now we cannot talk as much as we did today, but there were several requests for a League 2 crest, which is over 100 crest, which we would just have to release the aggregate on that one. That would be an absolute nightmare, but could be done. Yeah, I am so glad to see everybody here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And thank you, wonderful guys, for hopping on and chit-chatting for an hour and 40 minutes. Thank you so much. This has been the USL